Well, welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. Okay, we're over at the satellite area, which we were going to add in plastic and sulfuric acid to, but I actually don't really need those right at this second. We're building the solar panels, and for the accumulators, all we need is the batteries to turn up. Now, I have noticed that some of these trains just sort of stop and sit here for quite a while. It does have a bit left, but what I'd like to do is, I mean, they're preferring to draw off certain carriages, which is always the way with bots. It'll change slightly when we bring this part online, but we're not going to do that for a while. So what I want to do is, instead of just waiting until we're empty, let's also add a time passed. Maybe make it 45 seconds or something. And the same to the copper. Time passed 45 seconds. Just so it doesn't sit here forever, not doing anything. Other parts of the process need some attention. Now, we are mainly concerned with getting our getting the solar built and done. So what I'm going to do is I was going to copy down there, but that's not going to work. I need to set up another train, really. Alright, maybe what we'll do is for now let's leave this as solar. I'm not sure if that's going to remain the case, but for now it will. I basically want it to join down to this one, I think. Alright, first up. Bots. Get rid of all this stuff. Thanks. Now. Oh, by the way, I have noticed under F4, if you scroll down to the bottom, there is this logistic robot targets. I think you can use that to see where your bots are. So if we go like that, whoops, we need to put the bots back in. Oh, that's getting picked up by over here. No, it's not logistic ones that we want. Show player robots. That's what I want to see. Show player robots. And you get these little lines that lead to where your robots are. We don't want that on all the time, but the next time I lose them, that's a good way to find them again. Right. So, let's connect this up to use up a little bit of our excess probably have to do. So the solar train will head off down this way, and we need a connection for the solar train from over here. We obviously need some more robo ports as well. How are we doing in terms of solar panels? We've already built 16,000, so we have a lot of them already. Let's just chop you. it's kind of messy. Do something like that. It's all a bit messy, but this is a woo. Yeah, that's right. This is an incoming. So I'll have to go like so. Right, that should enable the solar train to run on the same tracks as the iron and copper trains. And now we want to add a solar destination. So let's run all the way back. Oop. Basic idea for the solar destination is we'll run the solar train up to along here. Oh, probably not using this thing, it doesn't really help me. What I will do is something like this. Okay. Running a train along here while we do this would probably help, but alright, they're back. But in the absence of a train, running with my fast legs isn't too terrible. Well, that's basically what I want to do, I think. More trees to remove, at least you only have to do it once. They don't respawn on you. Okay. I guess we will have to head around here to avoid running into this copper patch. Where actually are we? We are here, so we just want to come way out here and then up. It's a very long way that we have to go, so we certainly don't want to do it on slow legs. Where does that line go? Oh, right, that's fine. Just do it along there, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. So this is going to be a bi-directional line. And we might as well just keep on coming straight out a bit further. How's that? A bit further. Okay, that'll do. Just one special temporary train that will run this passage. There we go. Oh, you need to be over there. While that's going on, we can carry on with this. When we're done with this, I'll check on why the battery train has not yet made a visit to our solar area. Well, satellite area, I suppose I should start calling it. I am starting to get a little bit excited as we progress towards our I mean, once we've got this and probably accelerated some of the other ancillary things we need in volume for building the solar panels, we should be in a pretty good position to rapidly build out the rest of the, well, I guess you could call it the rocket science. All of this is just building towards being able to produce space science. So we're getting very close, and I think that's about a third of the total build. The rocket science build. All the rest of the sciences accommodating for the other 2/3. Just as a sort of ballpark. Alright, let's get back to fast legs. Narrowly skirted that coal field. Have a look at where we're at. Okay. Getting there, still quite a way, but we are getting there. And more rocks. A fairly close run thing to see if we in fact have enough rail on us or not to make it through the whole thing. Go through those trees, a few more trees coming up. Let me have a look. Yeah, we are getting there. Definitely getting there. Looks like we are past that set of bushes. Narrowly avoided those, but we're not going to avoid these, unfortunately. There we go. We must be almost there, surely. Surely. More trees. Not actually sure we are going to make it now. At least not the full yeah, we've sighted the other rail, but we have run out. Alright, what I might do is quickly find my train. It's at B iron 1. Alright, well let's send it up to hashtag solar 2. Actually, let's get rid of that one because that stop doesn't exist anymore. And what we'll do is we will just meet it along here and take the train back to the main base to restock with some rail so that we can finish this off. We certainly have enough inserters, I think. No, I don't want you picking up my wood. Here it comes. So this new rail line that we've built is all of this thing. And there's our plane. Here it comes. Let's see if we can make a flying jump on before it gets all of my wood. I think we've managed to take most of it with us. Otherwise we're just overloading the solar train with our wood, which this time we don't actually need to do, so a bit more than 1,000 wood. How many rail do we have? 2k. We probably don't need 2,000. Let's reduce that to 1,000. Wait for a sec.
Hello.
Go away. Children on holidays. Okay, so how are we doing? It's not actually a proper holiday, it's just a pupil-free day. Just about as bad. Right, that is it, I think. Almost. Okay, back to hashtag solar 2. Once the solar train starts coming up here, this will rapidly accelerate in terms of how quickly it moves ahead. Although we may need to make some adjustments to get more of the other materials up here. Okay, let's resume. Okay, this is where the others are being dumped off. We are going to need to be a bit longer than that. Let's not waste their robots on that if we can help it. Probably too late. Never mind. Yeah, this one. So if I said go back to about there, we probably want about that length. And then we probably want to clear out a bunch of this stuff so that we can return. given there is only one train designated for this purpose, we can probably do something like this, where it doesn't really matter to us that we're going back on like where a parked train would be. You can be satellite, solar, unload. There we go. So jump on board, get out of here before the stuff all gets put in here. Actually, oh yeah, we'll go to the main base, get rid of all this stuff. Then I need to pick up a train. An 820. And we are going to need to get back to here. So I guess going to here is probably the idea. Okay. The iron one, off you go. And from here we'll have to hoof it. We're up there, we need to get down there, pretty much straight line down. That would have made it slightly faster, but only to that point. Okay, rocks. It's not too slow, the old running speed, when you've got the whole 6 pairs of legs. If you wanted to go even faster, you could place batteries all along the bottom, I suppose. Charge them up with one reactor, then remove the reactor and place even more legs there, or batteries, and see what you can do. But it's fast enough, really. Okay. What we'll do is we'll fly over to the other side of the base. Here we go. I forgot to pick up these guys, didn't I? Well, what I might do is just swap these over for the moment, so that a few of these things can get placed down. That's probably it. It's fine, when all these bots have caught up, I'll swap back to the other legs. There we go, and these ones will be loading up. Do you know what? Having that many inserters is probably silly. We probably only really need 2. Now, what ratio do we actually need in this? Let's have a look. Let's do that from down here. Uh, 792 to 706. It's actually, I think it's about 84%. You need 84% as many of the accumulators as you need solar panels or something, I seem to recall. So if we had 184% and we divide that by 20, what does that mean? That gives us 9.2. Each carriage is basically worth 9%. So 100 divided by 9.2 is almost 11, and 84 divided by 9.2 is 9. So if we basically have 9 of these being accumulators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 are accumulators. How many accumulators can they fit in a carriage? Probably 2,000, so 1,000 accumulators in each one. And from this point onwards, it's solar panels, like so. That goes there. Okay, that should fill up all of those. In fact, I might even ride the train, but to do that we're going to need to get some fuel. So let's do that. Where are we exactly? I think, yeah, roundabout. We need to go over a bit. Over and down. We need 240. I don't think that's going to be enough. We might have to make more than one trip. It's the problem with this little plane. Okay. Right. Get that right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And of course, refueling is something else. But if we're going to have to supply fuel to this train anyway, we may as well. let's just get a little bit more fuel to the satellite anyway. We may as well double up and use that to provide fuel to all the trains that come here. So I think that's probably how I will handle that situation. I actually don't mind if I trigger another fuel train to come and deliver, but you have to actually get down to about 100, we're at 680. So that should be plenty. Still plenty there. The trains really don't burn through the fuel that much, but it is annoying when they run out if they're not auto-supplied. Okay, you are not quite full. There we go. Right, you should go satellite solar load. Ostensibly until inventory full, but maybe not. And then go to satellite solar unload until inventory empty. Let's just tell it to go to the unload. Quite a long journey, which until now we'd been able to avoid. Maybe if I'd explored further down to the south, sort of in this area, I might have been able to come up with some other location that would avoid this as well, but I guess we'll worry about that later. If it turns out this seems to be a particularly expensive route, maybe we could even reduce the number of engines on the train if that makes a significant difference. I've heard some suggestions that perhaps it does. How are we doing? Go to fuel. Yeah, we haven't really used very much yet. Uh, 18,000 solar panels, that's pretty significant. Especially since the actually, are we just going to have one? Probably. We're just going to have one chest at this end to unload into. That should be fine. So what we need, aside from getting rid of these solar panels, is to extend power further. And around to extend the range of the bots to cover all of this. So I guess that is one to there, one to there. What are they? I don't need those anymore. Probably need to ramp that up, maybe just 40. Oh, they have them locally, of course they do. Probably just exhausted the supply of them right now. How are we doing here? Oh, we're almost done. Let's jump back on board. So, I don't know what that was. Yeah, this should start growing at quite the rate now, 11.7. It's not that far off before we're actually going to have to start the next row. What is your problem, train? Why did we stop? Did I somehow turn it off automatic or something? Don't know. Okay, has the battery train made a trip yet? No. We've got 49,000 batteries here. I think there's a very vast amount of batteries that you can fit in each one of these carriages, which is perhaps the problem. There is an issue. 1.1 thousand. There is an issue with the sulfuric acid, so we may have to do something about that. About up here, there's not very much sulfuric getting down there. It should have been enough. Are all of these running? That petroleum. I might need a few more pumps. Certainly we need to have a bit of a look at that. Where are we? We're almost back to our build. Probably won't make another trip for a while. We do have a bunch of roboports now. So I grabbed them from the solar build. Are we seriously missing a carriage? Do you know what it is? I've finally worked it out. We turned around back on ourselves just a little bit too tightly and we killed the end of the train. Oh dear, you guys probably saw it and have been laughing this entire time. I've only just picked up on it. Alright, we better go and fix that. We need one more wagon, I think. Yeah, somewhere up here. Let's just get up to here. There we go. Oh, I don't need 40 of those anymore. 10 maybe. We've got our wagon. So yeah, we turned back on ourselves a little too soon here. That's what comes of very long trains. Alright. And let's just make this a little bit safer. Oh, come on. Alright. That's better. What? There we go. That should be fine. Now, the train is all the way back on the other end of the base, so let's go back. Yeah, we need to get to the bottom of that. And down to here. Train. How are you doing? You have 8,000 already. It's pretty good. Now, let's go and finally have a check on the batteries. I'm not exactly sure when we started. We're getting pretty close to having to end the episode though, so this will have to be a fairly quick look. Okay, so over here, we're not getting a lot of petroleum through there. I must admit, that sucks petroleum out in that direction fairly vigorously. What about if we put a pump in this direction as well? So that at least, you know, gets a little bit more vigor in there. Maybe add one more pump here. This thing is just going constantly. Briefly has heavy, then the heavy comes down here, and it instantly gets cracked. But you don't actually have those, and you guys don't have those. We did our calculations based on you guys having productivity modules. That should increase the... Can you only take 3? Yeah. That should increase the throughput somewhat. These ones all have observable productivity modules. It looks a little bit better than it was before. I actually allowed for this, so I'm kind of expecting, if anything, this will build up and then have a bit of a backwash. So How's that going down here? Is it enough, or do we need pumps? It's hard to say. Let's just have a look. What are batteries actually stacked to? 200s. So there's going to be a hell of a lot of batteries on board this thing. To 55,000. But if there's 200 every row, that's 8,000. There'll be 160,000 before it's full. So we're a long way short. Is that building up? Very hard to say. Alright. Do I have room for a pump there? Nope. We could do that though. And then that. See if that forces it along any further. It's not obvious if it has. Why are you not doing anything? Huh? They're all getting pushed to one side and not this side now. It seems a bit like it actually. Pumps being slightly counterproductive. Alright, let's take that out. Don't know if that's helping, but we do have these extra flows in, and we do have this pump here. Might have to check and double check my maths. I'll tell you what I will do. I'm going to get the battery train with its 57,000 and just say, look, just go. For now, just go. What's this stop called? Satellite batteries load. Satellite batteries load. Until inventory full. Let's add a time passed condition of, say, a minute. And satellite batteries unload until inventory empty. Maybe add a time passed of a minute there as well. And just tell it to go to, well, we might just jump on board. Tell it to go to satellite batteries unload. Make sure it can get there. Make sure that the accumulators start being produced once this delivers. And maybe between episodes see what else I can do about the oil. I might need to actually build more. It looks like we're not actually getting as much petroleum as I thought we would for some reason, so The issue's probably in that area. It's really not that long a trip. Here we are, pulling into the batteries stop. Well, we might need a few extra bots at this point. Good, we are producing accumulators. And there you have it. Alright guys, let's have one last look at the solar build. Shouldn't be much slowing it down at this point. We've almost finished the 11th row. We have bots out, that's why the count's not running, probably because we're still building up here. But there you have it guys, thanks for joining me, I look forward to seeing you in the next. Bye bye for now.